You're not lost, but maybe you've been looking in all the wrong places. Because the truth is, most people aren't lacking meaning. They're just chasing it where it doesn't live. In success, in perfection, in always being more. We were told that once we checked all the boxes, life would feel full. But what if checking the boxes is exactly what's emptying you out? What if the reason you feel disconnected isn't because you're broken, but because the version of meaning you were sold doesn't fit your soul? This isn't another lecture telling you to be grateful or meditate more. This is a conversation about what no one taught us, how to actually recognize the moments that matter. You don't need a new job, a new life, or a miracle to feel alive again. You just need to see what's already trying to speak to you, right now. And once you do, something shifts. You stop chasing meaning like a finish line and start discovering it in places you've ignored for far too long. Most people live believing that happiness will come after something happens, after they land the dream job, after they meet the perfect partner, after they finally earn enough. It's like life is always one step ahead and we keep running toward it. But then we arrive, and that feeling we were chasing isn't there. And just like that, we move the finish line again. We say, okay, maybe the next goal will do it. But what if meaning isn't waiting at the finish line? What if the race itself is what's keeping us from noticing what really matters? Some people spend their whole lives collecting achievements and ticking boxes. Diplomas, promotions, money, followers, always chasing that next big thing. But when they're alone, when everything goes quiet, there's still a strange emptiness inside. Because the truth is, purpose doesn't wait for you at the top. It shows up in the climb, in the detours, the stumbles, the people you meet, the quiet moments. If we focus only on the destination, we miss the beauty of the journey. And if we keep missing that, we start to feel like nothing will ever be enough. So instead of asking, what do I still need to achieve? Maybe ask, why do I feel like I need to keep proving myself to feel enough? You might not need to run faster, just slower, and with more awareness. Try paying attention to what already brings you peace, to what already makes you smile. If this message touched something in you, give this video a like. It helps more than you think. And if you want to keep exploring truths that go beyond the surface, subscribe to the channel. It'll be good to have you here. Now there's something else that might be quietly draining your joy, and you may not even realize it. From a young age, many of us learn to seek approval. A pat on the back, a gold star, a well done from someone we admire, and over time, we start to crave it. Not just for motivation, but to feel worthy. We let likes, praise, compliments, or even silence define how we see ourselves. The problem? External validation is addictive. It never lasts, and the more we depend on it, the emptier we feel without it. It's like drinking salt water when you're thirsty. It looks like it'll help, but it only makes the hunger worse. Think about it. How many decisions in your life were made just to be accepted, liked, or seen as good enough? Maybe you chose a career your parents wanted. Maybe you hide your true opinions just to keep the peace. Maybe you smile when you want to scream. It's exhausting, isn't it? And over time, that disconnect becomes painful. You start losing your voice, your truth, because every time you betray yourself to win approval, you chip away at your own sense of meaning. So what if, instead of chasing applause, you started listening to your own inner compass? What if you validated your feelings before waiting for someone else to approve them? Try it. Speak your mind. Say no when you need to. Wear what you love. Rest without guilt. You might be surprised how powerful it feels to choose yourself. If this message speaks to your heart, leave a like and subscribe to the channel. We're building a space for real conversations here. And trust me, what's coming next is something most people spend years ignoring. There was a time when you listened to yourself without question. You felt things deeply, and you trusted those feelings. You knew when something felt right, and when it didn't. But somewhere along the way, that voice got quieter. Maybe it was drowned out by other people's opinions, or by fear of being wrong. Maybe life got too loud. And so, little by little, you stopped checking in with yourself. You started outsourcing your truth to others. And the cost? You feel disconnected from your instincts, your emotions, even your sense of direction. Ignoring your intuition doesn't just make you confused, it makes you anxious. You second-guess yourself. You overthink everything. You ask others for answers you already know deep down. And each time you silence that inner whisper, it gets harder to hear the next one. But here's the good news. Your inner voice never leaves you. It just waits, quietly, patiently, until you're ready to come back to it. And when you do, there's a sense of peace you forgot was even possible. So how do you reconnect? Start small. Spend a few minutes in silence every day. Journal your thoughts without judgment. Notice what makes you feel tense and what makes you feel calm. The more you listen, the louder your inner voice becomes. Trust is built one honest moment at a time. And over time, you'll start to feel more grounded, not because someone else told you what to do, but because you finally remembered how to hear yourself. If this resonates, like the video and subscribe. And next, let's talk about something we all tend to overlook, even though it's right in front of us. We're taught to look for meaning in big moments, graduations, weddings, promotions, the aha breakthroughs. But real life doesn't happen in highlights. It lives in the small, quiet things. Sipping coffee while the world still sleeps, the sound of laughter during a casual conversation, the warmth of sunlight hitting your skin at the right angle. These are the things we overlook because they don't seem extraordinary. But that's the point. Meaning isn't always loud. Sometimes it whispers in the background, waiting to be noticed. Many people spend their whole lives waiting for something big to make life feel complete. But while they wait, they miss the little miracles happening every single day. Washing the dishes can be meditative. A walk around the block can feel like therapy. Saying, "I love you" before hanging up the phone can be the most important ritual of your day. Life doesn't always need to be exciting to be meaningful. Sometimes, the most ordinary moments are the ones we remember forever, simply because they felt real. So how can you start noticing the magic in the mundane? Slow down. Be where your feet are. Put your phone down for a minute. Notice the details, the smell of something cooking, the sound of wind in the trees, the smile of someone passing by. These are the threads that quietly weave a meaningful life. If this idea speaks to you, like the video and subscribe. And up next, we're going to explore a pattern that tricks a lot of people, especially those who are always chasing the next goal. At first, chasing goals feels exciting. There's purpose, direction, adrenaline. But somewhere along the way, the joy fades, and it turns into pressure. The to-do list gets longer, the wins feel smaller, and the question becomes, what's next? Instead of, how do I feel? Achievement addiction is sneaky, because on the outside, it looks like discipline, ambition, success. But on the inside, it often masks insecurity, a fear of standing still, a fear of feeling. You start measuring your worth by what you produce. Rest feels like laziness. Saying no feels like failure. You celebrate accomplishments for a second, and then move the bar higher. People may praise you for how driven you are, but inside, you feel disconnected, like you're performing your life instead of living it. And the saddest part? You forget what actually makes you happy. You forget how to just be, without needing to prove or earn anything. So how do you break the cycle? Start by recognizing that your value isn't tied to your productivity. Give yourself permission to pause, even if just for 5 minutes a day. Try doing something with no goal in mind. Paint, walk, stare at the sky. You don't need to deserve rest. You need it to stay human. If this message spoke to you, like the video and subscribe. And coming up next, we'll uncover how most of us distract ourselves to avoid facing what's underneath. Have you ever noticed how uncomfortable silence can be? The moment things get quiet, we grab our phones, turn on the TV, open social media, play a podcast, anything to avoid that stillness. But why? Because stillness leaves space. And in that space, all the feelings we've been pushing down start to rise. Loneliness, regret, fear, questions we don't have answers to. So we distract ourselves. We stay busy, not because we're productive, but because we're scared of what might surface if we slow down. Distraction has become the new comfort zone. We scroll until our eyes burn, binge content we don't care about, fill every gap in the day with noise, and we call it normal. But deep down, we know something's off. We know we're avoiding ourselves, and the more we do it, the further we drift from what really matters. Distraction isn't just stealing our time, it's stealing our clarity, our healing, our connection. The question is, what are you running from when you can't sit still? So what can you do instead? Start by creating little pockets of silence. You don't need to meditate for hours. Just take 3 minutes to breathe without a screen. Go for a walk without your headphones. Sit with your thoughts instead of escaping them. It won't always be comfortable, but it will be real. And real is where meaning begins. If this message opened something inside you, give this video a like and subscribe to the channel. Because up next, we'll challenge a belief that's been sold to us for far too long. We've been told that life only has meaning if we discover a big, bold, world-changing purpose. Something impressive, something that sounds good in a TED Talk. But what if that's not true? What if trying to find a massive, singular purpose is actually what's keeping us stuck? Some people spend decades searching for the one thing they were meant to do and feel like failures because they haven't found it. But purpose isn't always loud or public. Sometimes it's quiet, personal, and already part of your life without you even noticing. Purpose can be raising a child with love, creating something with your hands, being the one person who truly listens. It can change over time, and that's okay. You're not broken because your purpose doesn't look like someone else's. Maybe your purpose isn't one big thing. Maybe it's many small things done with intention. The world doesn't need you to be extraordinary. It needs you to be real, consistent, present, showing up where it matters, even when no one's watching. So the next time you feel lost, stop asking, "What's my purpose?" and start asking, "What feels meaningful today?" Let your life be guided by curiosity, not pressure. Let it unfold instead of forcing a script. If this brought you any clarity, leave a like and subscribe. It really helps us grow this space of honesty and reflection. And in the next topic, we'll talk about one of the most powerful tools we have when life feels directionless: human connection. When everything feels confusing, overwhelming, or empty, the fastest way to find your way back is through connection. Not surface-level socializing, but real human connection. The kind that reminds you you're not alone. Conversations where you're seen. Moments where you feel safe enough to be honest. It's in these spaces that something inside you relaxes. You stop performing. You stop pretending. And for a moment, you feel grounded again. Like you belong. Like you matter. Connection isn't just comforting. It's guiding. When we're lost, the people who truly know us help bring us home. And when we connect deeply with someone else, we reconnect with forgotten parts of ourselves too. Sometimes you don't need answers. You just need someone to sit in the unknown with you. That alone can be healing. It reminds you that you don't have to carry everything by yourself. You were never meant to do life alone. So if you're feeling directionless, try reaching out. Not with a script, but with your heart. Be willing to go deeper. Ask real questions. Listen with presence. Share what's real, even if it's messy. These moments don't just bring clarity. They bring warmth, hope, and sometimes they bring us back to life. If this moved something inside you, like the video and subscribe. Your presence here matters. And coming up next, we're going to talk about one of the most unexpected places people find meaning: pain. Nobody chooses pain. But pain has a way of finding all of us. And when it does, we're left with a choice: numb it, run from it, or listen to what it's trying to teach. Because pain always carries a message. It's the body's way of saying, slow down. The heart's way of saying, something here needs your attention. And as uncomfortable as it is, pain often reveals what truly matters. Loss shows us what we loved. Fear points to what we value. Emptiness uncovers the parts of us we've been neglecting. Many people try to rush their healing. They want to get over it, fast, move on, act like nothing happened. But healing doesn't happen on demand. It unfolds in its own time, often in silence, often in the dark. And when we allow ourselves to feel, really feel, we unlock a depth we didn't know we had. Pain can strip away all the noise, and what's left is something honest, something raw, something that, strangely enough, starts to feel like truth. So if you're hurting, don't rush past it. Sit with it. Ask what it's here to show you. Maybe it's calling you to let go, to forgive, to rest, or to finally choose yourself. Your pain isn't your weakness. It might be your wake-up call. And sometimes the most meaningful lives are born through the hardest seasons. If this helped shift your perspective, like the video and subscribe. And now, let's take all these pieces we've explored and ask a question that changes everything. We've all asked it. What is the meaning of life? It's a big, heavy question, and honestly, it can be paralyzing. Because when we try to answer it like an exam, we miss the point. Maybe the better question isn't about life in general, but about your life right now. What makes you feel alive? What brings light into your eyes, even for a second? What makes you forget to check your phone? Those moments matter. They don't have to be grand. They just have to be real. The search for meaning isn't about finding one final truth. It's about paying attention to what gives your days color. Maybe it's helping someone without expecting anything back. Maybe it's losing track of time while creating something. Maybe it's the way you feel when you're in nature, or when you're laughing with someone you trust. These are clues, signs pointing you toward what's most alive inside you. Meaning isn't always a destination. Sometimes it's a feeling and a direction. So instead of asking, "What's the meaning of life?" try this: "What makes me feel more me?" Let your days be shaped by that, one small choice at a time. You don't need to figure everything out. You just need to move toward what feels honest. If this helped reframe the way you see things, give the video a like and subscribe. Your presence here helps us grow. And now, let's take everything we've uncovered and begin putting it into practice, starting with a perspective you may have never considered before. So now the question isn't just, "What's the meaning of life?" It's, "What are you going to do with the pieces that matter most to you?" You've seen where the search can go wrong. You've felt the emptiness of chasing what was never meant to fulfill you. But you've also caught a glimpse of something deeper, something already alive inside you. And that's where real change begins. Not by adding more, but by finally noticing what's been here all along. So take a breath, look around. What's calling for your attention today? What would your life look like if you started honoring what makes you feel truly alive, even in the quiet, simple moments? That's the invitation. Not to have it all figured out, but to live more awake. And if this journey resonated with you, don't leave without joining us here. Subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and let's keep going together. One honest conversation at a time, because you're not alone. And this might just be the beginning of a very different kind of search.